So April 11th has something going on. Sorry, I hit the mic. April 11th has something going on Mattel Creations for MOTU. Don't know what it is yet. They haven't exactly revealed what it is yet, but I'm hearing an awful lot of talk that says that more than likely it will be He-Skeletor. He-Skeletor. Is that good? Is it bad? Do I care? I don't know. So yeah, what's going on is that a while back we were given information that He-Skeletor was a thing. We even seen it. The product exists, very blatantly exists. He-Skeletor is a thing. And this is for Origins. And we got to look at it. We got to look at the box art and everything like that. And He-Skeletor has actually even made an appearance. He's part of the mythology, for what it's worth, in the comic books. So, I mean, yeah, we're kind of digging. But then again, as much as we're digging in, it's just a repaint. Let's look at him for a second. So I'm over here on Toy Habits, and to be honest, this site is a little bit of a mess. I actually don't come here very often because there's a lot of overlays and advertisements and stuff all over it. Not that other websites don't have that, but sometimes I've noticed that it kind of plays hell with Chrome. I don't know why. It feels like there's a bit of a slowdown. Maybe it's just me, but it is a solid site if you want to get some information sometimes. So I do come here every now and then to kind of check out new news. Now, He-Skeletor was revealed on here, and they've got a couple of images that I specifically remember. That's him. He's a repaint of He-Man. He's Blue He-Man. That's what he is. He's Blue He-Man, which, I mean, we already have Blue He-Man. We call him Faker. I'm just saying, like, it's not that he looks bad. And you could tell that he's definitely a Mattel Creations thing because he's got the box and whatnot, so you knew that this is the way they were going to go. Let's go a little further down. So the back box art is pretty cool, and that blue Battle Cat, that would be really cool if we got something like that. Or even this crystal monster thing. I like all of this that's going on here. He's not a terrible figure, but he's just a repaint. I mean, you like He-Man, so do you like Blue He-Man? That's really the question we're asking. His box is even vague enough that if that's the box he's going to come in from Mattel Creations, you could set that up in a corner somewhere and tell people, that's He-Man. And what are they going to do? Argue with you? How will they know? I mean, really? How? So, he appears in this Masters of the Multiverse, which this is the only comic I don't have and haven't seen. Literally the only one that I haven't had a chance to get yet. I bought the omnibus and I read literally all of it. I'm okay. Let me backpedal a tad here. Not literally all of it because I'm on the last 100 pages. Okay, there. So I've almost read the whole thing. And I already bought the Injustice book and read all of that. So now I've got to buy this. And then I will have read this entire DC run. The thing, though, says, I was becoming He-Man by the power of Grayskulls. By the God, I don't know what we're looking at here. Because I haven't seen it. I can have the power. I don't know what that's about. I don't know why that's about. Looks like he has like a bone thing on his chest, which is different. Let's see that box. Nope, not a bone thing. Let's see the figure. Nope, not a bone thing. So they didn't even go out of their way to... That's just Blue He-Man. You couldn't even make a new harness? That bothers me a little bit. that legit bugs me a little bit. That's a bone thing. That's like a crossbones, but it's like not a cross like an X. It's like a crossbones, if you understand where I'm trying to get at. And I don't know if it's the art or what. Is he bigger than other He-Man characters? Like, he looks really big. It's probably the artwork. That's probably the style of the book. Like I said, I haven't got to read this one yet. I mean, it's Blue He-Man. I'm really torn here on this one. So my big problem here is that it's just Blue He-Man. I mean, they didn't even go out of their way to change the harness, and that would have at least made him a unique armor piece that would have made him, He-Skeletor, because that's what he's supposed to be, is He-Skeletor, the most powerful Keldor in the universe. So he's the most powerful Keldor in the universe. But he doesn't look like Keldor. He looks like Blue He-Man. Personally, this is He-Man if He-Man was a Gar, I guess? Is that the idea? I don't know. Like I said, maybe this doesn't appeal to me 100% because I haven't read that book yet, and then maybe if I read that book and maybe he's really cool or something, I don't know, maybe he only gets like 2-3 panels. I have no idea. Like, I really don't know, and that makes him such a deep cut that the only thing that I see, and this often happens with me when it comes to the He-Man toys, when it comes to Masters of the Universe, a lot of the times I know the toys before I know the events. That's just been the way that it is. I started collecting the toys. Then, after I bought 2 or 3 of the toys, I sat down and I watched all of Revelation. And then after I watched Revelation, I watched the entirety of the original series. And then I watched Season 1 of the 2000X series. And then after I watched Season 1 of that, I read every single mini-comic in that giant omnibus. Then I bought a He-Man encyclopedia thing, which I've only been like 20 pages into that. And then I read the entire omnibus, basically the entire omnibus, plus Injustice of the DC run of the He-Man comics. So, yes, I would say that my knowledge is fairly vast. I mean, I knew about this, but it's not nostalgically vast. It's vast in terms of I've picked up a lot in a single year. Like, a lot. Almost to the bounds of, you could call it minor obsession if you want to. And then who knows, maybe that's fair. I really got into this property, and it's because that it really resonated with me in a way that I wasn't expecting, and it's really been a good thing for me. And it's like the group that surrounds it, the fandom of it, has been really solid. I talked about that in other videos and whatnot, and it just, everything about it that I get into drags me in a little further and makes me appreciate it a little more. I really, really like this property. And it also really fits into the idea of I've always loved toys, as you can tell. So yeah, this was just a property that really caught my attention, and I really dove in hard. So I, in some ways, in fact, I would argue, and I don't know, maybe I'd argue unsuccessfully, but I would argue that I have more general knowledge of He-Man and Masters of the Universe than people that watched it in the 80s and then moved on with their life and was like, I had those toys when I was growing up, and basically don't like anything past the original. Like, I probably know and have experienced more of the growing property than they have because they're unwilling to. That happens with nostalgia. Nostalgia is a double-ended sword. It brings you great joy and takes you back to your childhood, and then refuses to let you move on to see what else a property might offer. This does happen. But this, looking at it from a mythology standpoint, it's a pretty cool idea. Personally, though, on a mythology standpoint, I would have preferred that he had Keldor's face. That Keldor got the sword, and whatever's going on in that universe, he, for whatever reason, moved up and became, like I said, I don't know that part. But then I look at this, and maybe it was like a body switch type of thing. I don't know. Toy-wise, though, jumping away from the mythology at large, toy-wise, he's Blue He-Man. And we already have Blue He-Man. That's Faker. I mean, this is kind of Faker with black hair and no thing on his chest. I mean, is it not? Maybe not. I don't know. You know what? Just for the sake of it, I'm going to click on something real quick. I'm going to click in here and I'm going to go Origins Faker. And I'm looking at him. And from what I can see right here, Keldor or He-Skeletor is darker blue, doesn't have the emblem, and of course has the He-Man armor and black hair. And there's a little bit of there's mild color differences, but I mean, it is a repaint. That is exactly what this is. So here's the thing. I really, really, really like Anti-Eternia He-Man. I like Faker. I like mere characters and alternate universe idea characters. This is something that I've been into for a very long time, such as for years and years and years, my favorite Spider-Man villain was Venom. And when I was growing up, there was this other cartoon that I used to watch a lot, which had something in it that did surprise me when I was a kid. There was Darkwing Duck. But there was a Mega Duck character, which was a mirror image bad guy of the hero. And this property has the same kind of thing going on. Not utilized to the best that it could be, I would argue, at some points. Except for Anti-Eternia He-Man. He's really cool. But, like, Faker often just kind of gets trashed. He's not really, doesn't really take He-Man's spot. It was a small stint in the comic book where he kind of took Adam's spot, regardless. But that's where my head sits with this kind of stuff, is I really like mere characters. And I guess you could argue that that's one of the reasons that Skeletor works so well. And when you have a character like Batman, Joker tends to be his mirror image, but the other side, you know what I'm talking about? And then you could argue for other characters as well, but that's what I'm trying to convey, is that I like these kinds of things. I like the black suit Spider-Man. I don't like every costume variant that's ever come out, but you get the idea. And I like these dark mirror images when they're forced to kind of look at themselves. Like I liked Spider-Gwen, and I liked when she was forced into the Venom costume and it kind of changed. I like these kinds of ideas. So it's not that he doesn't intrigue me, but, like, he's going to be, at some point, he's going to appear on Mattel Creations. Even if this isn't the time that he appears. Even if he doesn't appear on the 11th, he's going to make an appearance. We know this. But when he does, I mean, do I care? Here's what I'll say. On a personal level, I could argue that I might care if it maintains its regular price value. Because on a regular price value, it's not really edging out and costing a stupid amount of money to get a repaint character. That would be fine. But if they play an angle on this game and they play an angle on it and try to claim that he's like some kind of rare or some kind of big deal, and then they jack his price up to like 30 something or whatever, no way ever, because he's just Blue He-Man. I mean, he is. That's my current run of thoughts. They are still a little scattered. I am still fighting with myself, but right now it leans very heavily on the price point of whether or not I care about this one. And I could very well skip it if this is the event figure for this month. Don't know yet. We'll see. But I'm leaning towards skipping this one. Anyways, just wanted to talk about it because this is the current rumor going around, and if this is the guy we're gonna get, I got a decision to make. Anyways, later on.
I have spoken. Take what you will from it.